me and you, before we go full pie percentage, what is the highest percent blame for Derrick Henry that you are okay with accepting from somebody else?
I think it's what I have written down,
Which is
which
for Derrick Henry, which is what?
25%.
25% Derrick Henry.
25% Derrick
That is
Henry.
much higher than I had expected you to say.
I mean, I do think the fact that Derrick is not as quick as he used to be is a big factor here. And I think he would be the first one to tell you he has made some mistakes that have cost him opportunities at big runs. Do I think he's being too hard on himself? Absolutely. I don't think this is his fault at the end of the day. But I do believe that and I guess this is the hot take. I'll just come out and say it. More to blame, Derrick, higher percentage in my blame pie than the play calling and the coaching.
Really? Oh my gosh. All the goodwill that you just got from this fan base in the chat yesterday
I
for
don't
your great
believe that,
Titans
like,
2 takes is just now down the drain. Down the drain, Sam.
I do not believe that the play calling and coaching has been egregious in terms of Derrick Henry's usage and the runs that they've drawn up. I just think they don't have the protection to really run the football at all. They don't have the blocking to block up any of the runs. And it's a little bit difficult if Derrick has had opportunities. And one of them last week, I very much remember because I was on BetMGM taking every Derrick Henry over that I could get. He bounced out to the left side, and Corey Curtis and I are sitting next to each other, and we both go, he's going to score. It turned into a 7-yard gain. He just didn't run away from the pack when he had the corner, and he kind of like worked inside instead of going around the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a moment like that I was like, Derrick Henry 2 years ago probably houses that football. That's probably a 70-yard touchdown run. But it's a game of inches. It's a game of half seconds and seconds. And so I do think there is a small portion of this, not the bulk share by any means, where of Derrick's production that is down simply because Derrick is older, a little bit slower, and has made some occasional mistakes.
All right, so you're at 25% Derrick.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Fields, immediate super chat. Sam officially has worse takes than Buck, and that is saying a lot.
That's tough.
And Ryan's the one who is a super Kentucky fan, Big Blue Nation, who constantly jumps down my throat.
Hey, I'm a Will Levis guy, Ryan. I feel like you should at least appreciate that.
Yeah. So Ryan just officially lumping you into all of those things right there. So, man, I think the highest level of percentage for Derrick Henry that I was willing to accept was 20%. I think your 25% is absurd. So I'm going to look, I'm not trying, like, I don't think his natural like loss of like that last gear is blameworthy. I feel like that's just natural aging and progression. I think
I think I just have to look at like the production is down, and specifically in the context of a lot of these questions, it has been explosive play related. Like, why have there not been explosive run plays? Derrick says, well, I need to be better. Tim Kelly says, well, there's been opportunities to take advantage of. Mike Vrabel says, well, it needs to be blocked, right? So there's been different answers about why there hasn't been space to create explosive run plays. I do think part of the reason there hasn't been the big explosive run plays is that speed. So I do find it somewhat relevant in the conversation of like what we just talked about, Austin, which is like, when was the last time you saw Derrick Henry finish a long touchdown run? It's been a while because he's not as quick.
Sure, but he's also, again, like I'm not like, the long play is what's missing from his game. It's been a while, but True. It's the doubles. Derrick Henry used to hit a bunch of doubles and have a lot more 10+ runs than he's had recently. And he's having a lot more negative plays because the offensive line is bad. So I'll counter your 25% Derrick Henry blame with me being at 17%. think 17% is where I land with Derrick Henry. And I got to get even with math because 7 and 3 is a weird number. So I'm going to go and fill in that gap with 23% coaching and play calling and 60% offensive line. I think the lion's share of this, and I think everybody can agree that the offensive line should have the biggest slice of the blame pie. And I'm at 60% for that. I'm at 23% for play calling and coaching, and I'm at 17% for Derrick Henry. I think the offensive line, we know, they just don't have the dudes. Andre Dillard and everybody else at left tackle, NPF at right tackle at times, not good. Dylan Radins, when he's not false starting, is also not been super great. And then you've got Aaron Brewer, who gets pushed back. Daniel Brunskill is not a physically imposing guy either. And, Peter Skoronski has been the best offensive lineman across the board consistently, but he's also lost weight and lost strength because he had a freaking appendectomy before week 2 of his rookie year, and he's trying to recover on the fly from that. And so I think it offensive line 60%. So before we get into more of the coaching analysis, where do you have the Titans offensive line in your blame pie percentage?
I also had 60%. I had a 60, 25, 15 split. So I don't think we're that far off. Yeah, I mean, the lion's share of this does fall on the blocking because it is what you said, right? Yes, that I'm at 25% for Derrick because of those explosive plays that I do think could fall on his shoulders. But the negative plays, the 1 yard gains, the loss of 1 yard, the loss of 2 yards that you're seeing early in these series, those are not on Derrick Henry. Those are blocking failures by the Titans offensive line. And the inability to get him going, as Mike Vrabel put it. I really liked the way that Vrabel said that. Like, we have to be able to get him going and help out Derrick Henry. Half of what Derrick does so well is lean on opposing defenses for 4 quarters, and it doesn't always look like a 50-yard touchdown run. It's 3 yards on first down. It's 5 yards on second down, or it's 5 yards on first down, and then a pass play for a first down, and you get another 4 yards, and you hit him. And now those 5-yard gains start turning into what you said, Austin, 10, 11, 12, those doubles. You might not hit a home run in a game, but you might hit enough of those chunk runs that it ends up being a huge day for him and a really efficient way of running your offense. When your offensive line doesn't protect or give any pockets to run, and he's hitting the backfield for 1 yard or a loss of yardage early on, it doesn't give Derrick a fair shot, and it kills your offensive series. So, yeah, the lion's share of this has to be on the O-line.